My name's Adam Manaka and I'm the Financial Controller for Hi-Tech Oils. With our national capacity, we can now service Australian companies nationwide. Of late, we have now expanded into the New Zealand market. Here at Hi-Tech Oils, we receive premium base oils and premium additive packs. Together, with our highly trained staff, we manufacture over 500 premium quality products. Hi-Tech Oils is Australian made and Australian owned.
On today's show, we head over to the UK for the final 3 rounds of the Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship, and we return to where it all began, the Brands Hatch Grand Prix Circuit. Then we head over to Poland and to the Tauron Arena in Krakow for the opening round of the 2017-18 FIM Super Enduro World Championship. And later we wind the clock back to the 3rd round of last season's Hi-Tech Drift All-Star Series from Winton Motor Raceway. This is Speedweek.
So far, nobody has elected to pit. Everybody is making their way up towards the grid, and the last couple of cars are just coming down towards clearways. There, lagging back rather, is Josh Cook. He's fallen a long way behind Brett Smith, the medical car and the chase car behind. And when Josh Cook slots into place, we will have the green flag shown. That means that everybody is back from the warming up lap and we are good to go racing. 3 more races to decide the 2017 British Touring Car Champion. Round 28 on the full Grand Prix Circuit at Brands Hatch is about to get underway. Jack Goff is the man on pole. Directly behind him is Ash Sutton, the championship leader, starting 17th. Colin Turkington, we are ready to go racing. The lights go red when the lights go out. Now it is blast off. Good start is made by Moffat, who closes up and then almost gets alongside Jack Goff. Sutton moves across to try to defend from Rob Austin. They go side by side down towards paddock. The 2 leaders overlap. Sutton is 3rd. Goff sideways. Is he going to recover? He's going to come across the road and slide onto the grass. Sutton goes 2nd. Goff is off into the tyres. Bad news for him in the Independence Trophy Championship fight as the leaders head into Druids, and Sutton has gained a place already, but Moffat leads the way. Ingram's up to 3rd. Jake Hill is 4th. Rob Austin is 5th as they all wriggle their way downhill for the first time. It's still very, very tippy-toey, isn't it?
Well, that must have been a heart-in-the-mouth moment for Ash Sutton as Goff's car came swiping across the front of him. That could have easily changed the championship right there and then.
Absolutely right. So, eyes out on stalks. Ash Sutton continues. Colin Turkington is busy here. Chris Smiley going round the outside of Gordon Shedden, and there's contact. Smiley gets all sideways. There's Jordan. Look at the way the wets are working at the moment. Round the outside of Shedden, 3 wide they come, so Jordan's making progress. Turkington's falling back a little bit. Is there room for all of them? Shedden in the middle, goes ahead of Smiley. Jordan powers round the outside. Brave stuff this, down towards Hawthorns. Wow.
This is just, look, the back is going. He's got on the throttle. He's trying to save it straight across the front and into the tyres backwards. And I believe he's actually carried on as Jack Goff.
And we understand there's a drive-through penalty for Jake Hill for an out-of-position start, a false start, and the same for Josh Price. So drive-throughs being given to them as you see the replay of Jack Goff. Yeah, so Sutton's gained. Turkington has lost out. That's what I was saying on that first lap. He's losing places, waiting for the track to come to him. Jordan round the outside of Newsham. They touch, and Andrew Jordan keeps his foot in. This is also going to be fascinating for Dunlop's Forever Forward Award come the end of the weekend to see who's been the best advancer, because you've got people rising and falling up the order. Morgan is all sideways at Surtees. Does he catch it? No, he's off the road. Marshall's duck. Morgan headbutts the tyres. Can he hook a gear and rejoin? I think he can. Fingers crossed it's not done too much damage, but it shows how treacherous it still is.
That was a bit like bumper cars, isn't it? Off the barriers and carry on.
This This was at Surtees when it went left and it went right and it went back into the tyres.
Yeah, he caught the first part of it, didn't it? But it did a windscreen wiper job on it and came back the other way. And Ingram is through on the inside. That's good.
So that's second place for Tom Ingram, and it's a safe decision by Ash Sutton to give away a place, but he's still massively outscoring Turkington, increasing the championship lead. So up to second spot goes the Speedworks Toyota. The Laser Tools Racing Mercedes leads the way. The gap was 6/10 when they went over the timing line, and we understand that it's now starting to spit with rain. Not all the way around the lap, but at certain parts we get reports now that it's starting to spit with rain once again. We've done 5 laps, whisper it, no safety car, and Aidan Moffat leads the way. Ingram is second, Sutton is third, and look at the gap. They have pulled over everybody else. Here was the move, Ingram to the inside, coming through Clark Curve.
Yeah, and it looked like Ash just left the door open, didn't accelerate too fast. Maybe the team have been on the radio, obviously listening to our commentary, David, and decided to agree with us.
Shedden's up to 8th. He's another making progress ahead of Dave Newsham, and Jason Plato on wets is falling away. He was in the top 10 and he has now dropped away. In fact, he's not yet come over the timing line. Austin is off the road there, however, and that's at Graham Hill Bend. He's going to get back on, but he's going to lose place after place after place. Gordon Shedden goes through, Dave Newsham goes through, so that's going to put Rob Austin 9th, and Stephen Jelly is out wide and through the gravel. James Cole and others get ahead of him, and there's Jake Hill after his enforced pit stop. Brett Smith to the inside of James Cole. Apart from the top 3 now, there are battles everywhere.
He's going through on the inside, nice clean manoeuvre. Remember, it's difficult to pass offline. He nearly had to repeat there of lap 1.
And here comes Turkington. Epps goes ahead, look, Epps goes ahead of Simpson. Turkington tries to go through as well. Mike Epps then gains a spot. Turkington hustling on to try to salvage even 1 point out of this. Is he there now? Yes, he was 15th at the start of the lap, so he's gained a place over Simpson. He's up to 14th. Whoopie-doo. It's not enough, is it?
It's nothing like enough. He needs a big dose of luck to help him, and that means bad luck for Ash Sutton somewhere, but Sutton's in a very comfortable 3rd place. Look, he's letting the 2 in front get on with it. He doesn't need to take any risk. That lead that he has over Rob Austin's now gone out because Austin had that spin, and it's now Matt Jackson 13 seconds behind him. Look, Goff's dropping back. Goff's dropping back behind Turkington, so maybe there is some damage we didn't know about, or he's got another problem.
So that puts Turkington, well, he was 13th, he's now going to be 12th behind fellow Northern Irish driver Chris Smiley, and Turkington, although he's gaining ground, is running out of laps, of course. Now we are on lap 12 out of 15, and there is Jack Goff's Honda, then having dropped down the order somewhat this lap around, which is disappointing for Jack, given that he's fighting still for the Independence Trophy lead against Tom Ingram, who is fighting for the race lead. They go over the line, they just put a lap on Stuart Lyons, and it's still 8/10 covering that leading 3-car battle pack.
Chilton and Proctor have circulated in tandem in the 2 Powermax cars, and they're running in a really good team result of 5th and 6th. Of course, Rob Huff did get that podium at Silverstone, which is by far and away their strongest result, but it's a great team result if they finish like this with Chilton and Proctor running 5th and 6th.
And some very crude maths, I would offer you that it's going to be, if things stay as they are, 22 points advantage now, Sutton to Turkington going into the penultimate race. So that's a very tall order for the Northern Irish driver, the double champion, Colin Turkington, to make up. Now look up the road here. They're about to put a lap on Andrew Jordan, and ahead of Jordan is Jason Plato, both of them starting on wets. Aidan Moffat zaps through on the inside line. Meantime, up at Druids, Chris Smiley is being attacked by Colin Turkington. It goes wide, and Jack Goff dives back on the inside. A place and points lost for Turkington.
Well, not many points, but I'd like to have seen the leaders passing those back markers. That was an anxious moment, wasn't it, for Sutton?
So all 3 go ahead of Jake Hill, and Aidan Moffat still leads the way. Next car to lap is the MG of Josh Cook, and he can't go through at Westfield. Blue flag wave. Josh Cook goes a little bit wider, so Moffat has a chance to run up the inside and go through. Ingram follows and gains track position over arch rival the season's past, Josh Cook. They've crossed swords on many an occasion, and Ash Sutton has gone through as well, passing his former teammate, of course. Last year, Ash was at MG with Josh Cook.
Josh Cook was off in caused the red flag in qualifying, but it was actually a broken toe link that went on the left front that pitched him off the road at Clearways just here. So definitely not his fault, that one.
There's Sutton on the back of Ingram as they come through together, and Moffat, look, now has got away. Ingram's defending this time as they come through to start the last lap. Aidan Moffat leads by 8/10, and then it's a fifth of a second. Ingram to Sutton. Could that change at the very end? Here comes Sutton up the inside. He attacks. He goes one side and then the other. He doesn't need to be doing this, but attack he does.
He really doesn't need to do it. How many times are we going to say, no, 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 what are you doing? He's running on 3 strikes, one more strike, and he misses the next race. What does he think he's got to gain? I don't believe it.
So he backs out eventually and slots back in behind Tom Ingram. If there's a place there, Ash wants it, but he doesn't need to go for it. He just needs... We've done this 15 laps. He just needs to keep out of trouble. Aidan Moffat, though, now looks like he might have a big enough advantage to preserve with less than a lap to go. Ingram is still there in second place, and of course ahead of Goff. That is good news for him in the Independence Trophy. They come out of the right at Hawthorne, down towards Westfield. In the background, look, is Matt Jackson, who is charging along and doing his best to bring down the gap to the leaders. It's been an inspired race by Matt. We've not seen much of it, but he started, remember, 15th on the grid, and he now runs in 4th place, and that car getting quicker and quicker all the time. You've also got Rory Butcher going through shot a lap down because he's fallen back behind the leaders, but now Aidan Moffat has got a corner to go. In towards Clark Curve they come. It is Moffat versus Ingram. Could it change on the line? Tom Ingram's got a chance for perhaps one last roll of the dice here as they accelerate towards the line, but Aidan Moffat is going to win the first race of the day. Aidan Moffat wins for the 2nd time in his touring car career. Tom Ingram is 2nd, and 3rd goes the way of Ash Sutton. Aidan Moffat wins round 28 of the British Touring Car Championship. Tom Ingram takes 2nd, and Ash Sutton, the championship leader, increases the margin with 3rd, ahead of Matt Jackson and then Tom Chilton. It's Senna Proctor 6th, ahead of Gordon Shedden, who made great progress. Dave Newsham 8th, ahead of Rob Austin, and Matt Neal rounding out the top 10. As far as the championship is concerned, Ash Sutton now has a 24-point advantage over Colin Turkington as a delighted Aidan Moffat clambers out of the car to celebrate a 2nd race victory of the season, and the Laser Tools Racing squad delighted. Ash Sutton 24 points ahead of Turkington. Ingram is 3rd ahead of Shedden. The now absent Rob Collard 5th from Matt Neal and Jack Goff. Andrew Jordan's 8th from Matt Jackson, and then Adam Morgan rounds out the top 10. He's up to the grid and pole position for double touring car winner this year, Aidan Moffat. There's Ash Sutton directly behind him, 1 row back. Matt Jackson was a real star of the first race, getting himself up to 4th. He always goes well here, always goes well at this last event of the season. And Matt, a proper fighter who never gives up. The final car slots into place on the grid. The green flag is shown at the back. We could have a champion crowned at the end of 15 laps of round 29 of the British Touring Car Championship, which is underway. The lights are out, it is blast off. There's a good start made by Jackson to try to get himself up alongside Sutton. Ingram slots in behind Aidan Moffat. Jackson to the outside, diving up the inside of the Vauxhall Astra. Great start by Chilton. So Sutton's lost a couple of places already. The Vauxhall clips the curb and scrabbles round the corner, but it's Moffat from Ingram, 1 and 2 as they head up the hill. And there's a big, big slide in the background. Motorbays forward on the grass and into the barriers at the bottom of Paddock Hill Bend. Matt Jackson is 3rd then as they drop downhill behind Ingram, behind Moffat, and the cars then turn through Graham Hill Bend on lap 1. Martin Depper, I fear it was, that went off at the first corner, but Moffat leads the way as Depper tries to rejoin.
Yeah, that was an uncharacteristically poor start by the rear-wheel drive Subaru of Sutton, but a great start by Matt Jackson in the front-wheel drive Motorbase car. He could really be on a fly here. Remember, he's actually the first of the cars on the soft option tyre, which we think will work better at the moment on the track. So, and he's lighter than the 2 cars in front.
Absolutely, only 48 kilos of weight. On board with Ingram. It is Aidan Moffat ahead. Now, Tom has studied the back of that car pretty much all the way through race one. He knows exactly what it can do, but not with 75 kilos, which is now what Aidan Moffat has to lug around. He leads the way. Second is Tom Ingram. Matt Jackson is third. And then fourth and fifth, Chilton and Proctor. Tremendous effort this from Power Max Racing. Of course, the Vauxhall coming to the end of its first season. Turkington is on the move. He's gained ground as the two Vauxhalls go side by side. Proctor there tries to get himself up past Chilton, and wide the Chevrolet in the background, which was Chris Smiley. It is 3 for the lead at the end of the lap, and Jackson is crawling all over the back of Ingram here.
Yeah, like I said, those soft tyres working very quickly. Remember, the difference between the cars from race 1 to 2 is Aidan Moffat has gained 75 kilos. Ingram had weight on already in the first kit one, and he may have got up the inside. He looks to close. Aidan Moffat just gets across in front, but the difference in his car race to race is only about 20 kilos. Much easier to deal with.
Exactly, but Aidan Moffat is coping well, isn't he, for the moment? And now look, fourth and fifth and sixth. In other words, Chilton, Proctor and Sutton are all closing up. It's Gordon Shedden, seventh. Dave Newsham is eighth. Matt Neal is ninth. Rob Austin is 10th. On board then now with Ash Sutton. He has a look to the inside going into Surtees, but Senna Proctor fends him off.
And Senna Proctor having a great weekend, looking desperately to get a podium. He said, having tied up the Jack's ears, that he wanted a podium next, and he's getting closer and closer to the front.
He's had a couple of sevenths this year, but not yet into the top six, not on that podium, as you say. 3 for the lead still, but the bottleneck is growing, isn't it now, because Tom Ingram can't get past Moffat, Jackson can't get past him, and they're being caught by, deep breath, Chilton, then Proctor, then Sutton, then Shedden, then Newsham, then Neal.
Yeah,
Up towards Sterling's. Aidan Moffat is still there, only just, and Ingram still crawling all over the back of him. Can he find a way through at Clark Curve, maybe?
Yeah, difficult place to pass because it's a very light brake. You turn in, look how the brake light is only on for a split second, really. You're really trying to set yourself up for a good run through Clark and Clearways, and then into Paddock, where you do have a big break and a much better opportunity to pass.
At the end of lap 1, Turkington was 12th. Let's see where he is at the end of lap 2. He is still 12th, but has just done the fastest lap of the race. He gets a point for that, so it's better than nothing, but he still hasn't really made the progress that he needs to, and Sutton is still there in 6th place as the leaders pile into Druids, with now Chilton and Proctor and Sutton and Shedden and Newsham and Neal and Austin, in fact, and Goff and Turkington and Simpson. The line is getting ever longer. It takes you all the way back. I think now it's the top 12 in a line for the race lead.
Yeah, the back of that is Turkington. Yeah. So he's actually only 4 seconds off the race lead.
And there Rob Austin was making a dive up the inside, and he leans a bit on Matt Neal as they come out of Surtees. Has he gone through? They're still side by side. Turkington and Goff are behind them, looking to try to gain track position. The BMW on the back of the Honda. Rob Austin to the outside line, down towards Hawthorns. Matt Neal's on the inside. He should go through. Can Jack Goff find a way through as well? Not on the inside, not on the outside. The road is absolutely crowded ahead of him, and they touch again. Rob Austin's the one that gets forced wide. Here comes Goff up the inside. He goes through, and Turkington tries to go as well. He's on the inside line. BMW on the inside, Toyota on the outside, on board with Turkington. Honda of Goff ahead, but Colin goes through. He gains a place.
Well, side by side through Hawthorns, the fastest corner on the track, and I was holding my breath, but Matt Neal gave Rob Austin plenty of room on the exit, and then managed. I thought they were going to do it again at Westfield, but good driving by both of them. But Austin actually lost out in the end, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. But Aidan Moffat is still the race leader, despite everything being thrown at him. He's now spent 3 laps in the lead. Tom Ingram in 2nd spot, Matt Jackson 3rd, and then the line behind, headed by Tom Chilton. Senna Proctor having his best showing of the season in 5th, as Jackson has a look up the inside of the Toyota there. Can't find a way by. The Motorbase Ford still 3rd. Sutton is there 6th, ahead of Shedden, and then Dave Newsham. 9th is Matt Neal. And Jack Goff into the top 10. So Turkington is up to 11th, but little good will it do him because he's still behind Sutton, and that is the crucial part of all of this.
Yeah, but look, he's making another move here on Goff. Austin's trying to get that position back, and Turkington is through. Let's have a look at the speed down the straight now, because Turkington was complaining massively, wasn't he, about speed down the straight, and we'll see how they go. It seems to be pretty quick now. Good exit off Surtees.
So he's through and now starts to edge away. Next target further up the road is going to be Matt Neal. Look, in the Honda. Austin is now defending from Goff, and Matt Simpson and Mike Epps. And it's Ollie Jackson, 15th, rounding out the point scorers at the moment. Lap 4 of 15 here at Brands Hatch on the full Grand Prix Circuit, the traditional end-of-season venue for the championship. And a challenge is made on the inside by Shedden there, having a look to try to get past Sutton on the inside going into Sterling's. Let's see whether it came off for him. They sprint down towards Clearways, and it's still Subaru ahead of Honda.
And Turkington still has that point for fastest lap. It was a 31.7, which is a very, very quick lap. There's no one else even in the 31s, and very few people even in the 32s.
So the pace seems to be there. What else can he do? As you look back from Sutton's car, there's Gordon Shedden behind, alongside. Is he going to go through? Side by side through paddock. Ash Sutton on the outside will lose a place, surely. Dave Newsham there ahead of Matt Neal, tries to find a way through as well. Sutton said pre-race he can't afford to give too many places away, but he has dropped back, of course, now into 7th spot. And as he's falling, up the order comes Turkington. There is Matt Neal to the inside of Dave Newsham. All of this is happening ahead of Colin Turkington, who might gain another place, maybe even 2 here. As for the lead, Ingram looks to the inside of Moffat. There's so much going on now.
There's no doubt with the pace that Turkington's got on the soft tyres with no weight, he is going to catch Sutton in this race. Then we're going to see some action.
Absolutely right. So he's got to catch him, he's got to pass him, and then he's got to get lots of cars between. Turkington's on the outside of Dave Newsham here. Dave Newsham not fighting for a championship. He wants the best results he can get. Is he going to go a little bit wide, and does that give Turkington a chance to challenge on the inside at Westfield? The answer is no. The BMW stays behind the Chevrolet, which bounces over the curb, delays itself, goes wide, and here comes Turkington now up the inside line, and he goes through, gains another place. He's now 9th.
Well, that car is absolutely flying in this specification, isn't it? It loves the soft tyre. Colin talked on the grid about how good it was at Brands Indy, the first meeting of the year, and he's just flying.
He's done the fastest lap of the race, and this is how he gained that place.
Yeah, the bouncing over the curbs just delayed the momentum of Newsham's car, and the rear-wheel drive, perfectly balanced BMW just drove up the inside of it.
Gordon Shedden's on the attack as well now, having a go at Senna Proctor on the outside. Turkington has only got one car between himself, look, and Ash Sutton, and now as Shedden goes to the inside of Proctor, Sutton tries to get up alongside the Vauxhall and gain back a place here. Risky, but it might have just worked. Yes, he comes out ahead of Proctor now, so he gains a place back.
As immediately behind, Neal puts Proctor down another position, sorry. I saw Ash Sutton flashing his lights.
Turkington's ahead of the Vauxhall as well, so Sutton's gained a place, but so too has Turkington. And we're on lap 6, and it's still Moffat, despite the weight, leading the way. Really, really impressive drive. But look for second place. Matt Jackson is through ahead of Tom Ingram now. So Jackson is the real danger. A much lighter car than Aidan Moffat's Mercedes ahead, and he's on the soft tyre. And Matt Jackson, now released from behind Ingram, is flying.
This is the move. He's going to come up the inside at Druids. There's a gap on the inside. Where's the yellow motor-based car? Boom, there it goes.
Uncompromising as ever, Matt Jackson. I'm coming through, Tom. Make your own arrangements.
Yeah.
So, having got second, he's now latched right onto the back of Aidan Moffat for the race lead.
And if he doesn't do it at paddock, he might well do it in exactly the same place, because he's going to have far superior braking and corner speed. Let's watch him try and set it up here.
So on to lap 7 they go. Turkington is 8th, Sutton is 6th. Battle for the race lead is on. Sutton's lost another place. Matt Neal's gone past him. So Sutton is 7th, Turkington is 8th. Jackson doesn't challenge at Druids this time. They're Shedden to the outside of Chiltern, and Turkington now is on the tail of Ash Sutton.
Can he keep the championship alive? Sutton, I'm sure, will defend like mad, because he knows if he finishes in front of him, that's it done. But Turkington's got nothing to lose. He's got to finish in front of him in this race to take the championship to the 3rd race.
He's got no weight on the car, a softer tyre. It should be a quicker combination. Here he comes, and look back from the Subaru. The BMW is right there. Turkington eyeing up which way to go, where to make the move. And Sutton, although he wants to defend, cannot afford to put himself in jeopardy, of course. Ahead of them is Matt Neal. Look back, there's the BMW. Turkington closing right up into Hawthorns.
The entry speed into Hawthorns there was significantly quicker, wasn't it, on board with Turkington. Look how the car rides the curbs really nicely. To be fair, the Subaru does as well, but Turkington's the one with the pace in this race.
And up the road, Shedden has just gained a place as well. I think he's gone ahead of Chiltern. Yes, he has, so a change for 4th. And there is Turkington to the inside of Ash Sutton. Had a look, couldn't do it. He's certainly quicker, and he's being held up, and he can see all those other cars up the road that he might be able to have a go at if and when he can find a way past Sutton. Now, is it going to be a good run through Clark Curve and a challenge at Paddock? Let's see.
This is so interesting, isn't it? And of course, Sutton, he wants to defend because this could win him the championship. No, that's right on the inside. Turkington's into the boot of Sutton. Has he pushed him wide? Can he get up the inside? Sutton's going to move across. They're on the grass, but I think Turkington's there. And round the outside goes Austin.
Rob Austin gains 2 places and then loses 1 back because Turkington stays ahead of him. Rob Austin versus Ash Sutton side by side down the hill. Rob Austin will go through on the inside. He gains the place, he runs out wide. Sutton's going to fight back on the inside, so he's not taking this line down. He desperately wants to get back ahead, and he does go through on the inside line there. He retakes the position. Wow, fabulous racing up and down the order. So Turkington is 7th, and Ash Sutton is now in 8th place.
So although this will go down as we stand to the 3rd race, we'll have the reverse grid to come, and Sutton will lose the weight as well for the 3rd race. Side by side, still again, Austin and Sutton fighting it out.
Austin's going to lose out to Proctor, though, and there is Jack Goff in the mix as well. And here's another place gain for Turkington. Now, this is where it becomes crucial. He is gaining places and therefore gaining points. That's going to keep the championship alive. It's not just enough for him to be ahead of Sutton. He's got to be ahead by 3 points. As Sutton goes way wide onto the weeds there, Proctor will close. And look at this, Aidan Moffat deserves an enormous cheer because he is still, at the end of lap 8, hanging on to the lead. Sutton under attack from Proctor and Goff. And they're all trying to find a way past Sutton now.
Yeah, and Sutton's trying to sort of create a bit of a roadblock so the others fall over themselves behind, but a mistake like running onto the grass compromises him totally.
Look back, there is Jack Goff behind. So Turkington is up to 6th and Sutton was 8th over the line. Austin's looking for a way past Goff, who's busy flashing the lights. Mike Epps now comes up to challenge Senna Proctor, who's falling back down the order, and wide goes Dave Newsham. He's going to lose a whole heap of spots here as he tries to get back onto the road. Proctor versus Epps, and that's Jackson going for the race lead. But no, even with a tap in the tail, Aidan Moffat is still there. Tremendous defence this from the Scottish driver.
He's done a brilliant job, but I think Jackson can see everybody else coming. He can see the Hondas coming. He might even see Turkington coming. Newsham retires, so he's decided he's got to make an attempt now. He's got to force the issue. Moffat, though, wow, he has driven so well. He's sustained all the pressure in race 1, and he's doing it again now, and it is so difficult with 75 kilos on and everybody else lighter behind you.
Now, provisionally, I reckon if things stay as they are, it would be 22 points between Sutton and Turkington. You get 20 for a win, plus a point for leading a lap and a point for the fastest lap. So 22 would be on offer. It would just about go to the wire, but of course, even if it's a tiebreak at the end, Ash Sutton has had more wins, so he's still the stronger of the 2 now. But if Turkington gains another place or another 2, then of course the points all change again. So he's got to keep on pushing. Can he get onto the podium before the end? Turkington is 6th. Remember, he's got that point for the fastest lap already. Through Paddock Hill Bend they go now.
Yeah, I certainly agree with your maths, David. I think if the positions stay as they are, it's just enough for Ash Sutton, but 1 more place gained by Turkington, and we go to race 3.
So he's got to get up past Matt Neal, and the race leader, Aidan Moffat, is still there, still defending. Here comes Turkington up the inside of Matt Neal, another place to be gained, has a look, can't do it. The 2 Hondas running in formation. Gordon Shedden, for the first time in a number of seasons, not part of the championship fight, but Turkington is, and there's a place to be gained here as he comes up alongside the Honda. Front-wheel drive versus rear-wheel drive, Honda versus BMW. Champions both, Neal versus Turkington, Collins on the outside, Matt on the inside, change for 3rd, Shedden's gone ahead of Ingram. They're fighting for 3rd in the championship. Turkington takes 5th on the road and goes through, and now he has a look to try not only to defend, but also get past Ingram as well. He's not done yet in his quest to get up the order.
No, those tyres are just working so well on the car. And this is the idea. It's exactly what the Touring Car Championship should be, with ballast and tyre choice making a difference to the performance of the cars. But as we stand now, I think it goes to race 3.
Yes, it does, because if you give Colin the point for the fastest lap, and he gains another place, I think, on the inside there anyway, so that reduces the deficit. He will keep it alive. Over the timing line they come. Ingram's dropped back there, look in the queue. So it's still Moffat with the weight ahead of Jackson. 3rd is Shedden. over the timing line. Fourth now is Turkington, but he could yet get even higher up the order. Fifth is Ingram, sixth is Neal. Change that because on the inside, Matt Neal goes ahead of Tom Ingram. Chilton is seventh, Sutton is eighth, Goff ninth, Austin 10th. And Aidan Moffat, I'll say it again, deserves an enormous cheer because they just can't shake him. He's like a sponge, isn't he? Soaking up the pressure, and he's still there. And Matt Jackson is not noted for his mercy in a touring car, and yet he's kept him at bay. Turkington to the inside for third place now, and he goes through. Colin Turkington is third, and he's on the back of Matt Jackson. Could Turkington even win the race?
He could, he certainly could. Wow, that would set something up for race 3, wouldn't it? But of course, we've got the reverse grid. And I believe Murray Walker's going to choose that. He could decide the championship.
So nose to tail down towards Hawthorns. Turkington is almost there. Look, he's managed to find a way past Shedden. He's on the back of Jackson, who is still struggling to find a way past that Mercedes. And now Turkington is crawling all over the back of Jackson, which will give Moffat a bit of breathing space for a few corners. You've also got Matt Neal attacking Gordon Shedden there, trying to find a way up past his teammate. Tom Ingram's on the back of the queue. Ash Sutton is still there in 8th place, looking for a way to get himself up past Tom Chilton. And there's Andrew Jordan on the outside of Ant Walton-Eels heading up to Sheen Curve, and Chris Smiley has got damage. We saw Dave Newsham parking it, and now Smiley has taken some damage, so it's a disappointing end seemingly to the year for BTC Norlin, having made such great strides at Silverstone, because both cars could be at the back of the grid for the last race of the year as Moffat puts the 11th lap of 15 in the book. Here for second is Turkington on the inside, and he's done it, he's gone through. Turkington is second.
Wow, what a pass on the brakes into paddock. One of the most spectacular places to pass.
Louis Turkington can barely watch, but Colin has not finished yet. We've still got 4 laps to go, and he's closing up on Aidan Moffat now. Can he succeed where others fail and get the lead against the Scotsman? This was the move.
Great move, dummy to the outside, then cut back, late on the brakes, and fair play, at least Jackson gave him room. But you know, Sutton made a position up as well on that lap. He moved up in front of Chilton.
That's right, so he's up to 7th. I'll go back to the abacus in a moment when we've seen what Turkington can do about Moffat. Nose to tail for the race lead as they swing their way now out of Hawthorn, and Turkington towards Westfield looks at the inside.
We believe it's 15 points difference with 22 on offer for race 3. Whatever, it's going to race 3 at the moment.
Whereas the Independents, I think, is going to be sewn up in this race, isn't it? Because Ingram it is ahead with Jack Goff next in the queue. They're the 2 race leaders, nose to tail. We'll await confirmation, but I think it's going to be enough for Tom Ingram to do it here and win the Independents, except he might lose a place yet. Ash Sutton, regrouping, is closing onto the back of the Toyota as they dive into Clark Curve. It's fascinating, isn't it, the way that Ingram has dropped away, but Moffat, yet with all that weight, is still there, and now he's got cars everywhere behind him as Turkington goes to the inside. Shedden is up to 3rd ahead of Jackson as they come over the line, and Aidan Moffat, driving like a veteran, gets a big whack in the back from Turkington, and that fires him wide. Colin Turkington takes over the race lead, but is that going to stand that move, I wonder? Up to 2nd is Shedden, 3rd will be Neal, 4th is Jackson, 5th is Moffat. Very unlucky to lose the advantage like that, but Turkington makes contact with the back and through he goes.
Well, Sutton received the penalty at Silverstone for gaining an unfair advantage, and the penalty was actually a 1-second penalty to reverse the position. Well, if they reverse this position, look at this. Bang, into the back, goes through on the inside. If they reverse the position, it's going to cost Turkington dear, because they'd have to put him behind Aidan Moffat.
Exactly right, who at the moment then is down in 5th place, so that might be a short-term lead, but in the long run it could be rather costly. We'll have to wait and see. Turkington then is getting away. Aidan Moffat is down to 5th position. So there you've got Ash Sutton losing out to Epps as well. And here comes Goff on the inside. Here comes Brett Smith, I should say, on the inside. So Sutton losing ground here as well.
And Sutton's in danger of being outside of the reverse grid positions, which would put him back in front of Turkington. There's a long way to go in this championship, guys.
Not many laps to go in race 2, however, but it's been another barnstormer, hasn't it? And we're not done yet. Is it going to be for the next hour or so? Everybody's standing outside the steward's room waiting for news. Here is Turkington over the line then. 13 laps done. He leads from Shedden, and Matt Neal is 3rd. Matt Jackson is 4th. And Mick Moffat is 5th. 6th is Ingram. Chilton is 7th. 8th now is Goff. 9th is Austin. In 10th place is Epps. 11th is Smith. And 12th is Ash Sutton. So that means it's going to be 6 points between them now, assuming Colin Turkington is the race winner and Ash Sutton therefore stays in 12th place.
But at the moment, with Sutton in 12th, the grid could be reversed, and Turkington would still be in front of Sutton starting the last race, albeit the roles would be completely reversed because Turkington would have full ballast and Sutton would have nothing.
Absolutely right. So Turkington now tries to edge away from the opposition. We're on lap number 14. 1 lap to run at the end of this. Aidan Moffat then, after that great defence, ending up being forced wide with that contact, which in fairness is not something you see Colin Turkington offer very often, but it was certainly a whack at Paddock Hill Bend. He's gone through, and with the ballast-free BMW, he has built the advantage. There is Moffat ahead of Ingram. So the two front row drivers now around 5th and 6th. In terms of the independents, where is Jack Goff? He is 1 car behind Ingram. He's got, in other words, Tom Chilton between him and his independent opposition, and that is Josh Cook with a problem in the MG. Looks like some rear damage. So here is Colin Turkington. He's about to start the last lap. We've not had any suggestion of that move being investigated, but I suspect it might be a talking point at the very least post-race, especially with a Scottish accent.
Yes, I think a certain Bob Moffat might be paying a visit to Ian Watson, the clerk of the course,
to have a word or two. So we're on the last lap, and Colin Turkington is the race leader, and Ash Sutton, his championship rival, is down in 12th place after what has been another fascinating race. We've been saying all weekend there's always a sting in the tail. Has this been that sting? But is there more to come even after the checkered flag?
Well, we're guaranteed a fabulous final race. Absolutely. Whatever happens. Yeah. At least we're going to have the championship decided in the 30th of race of the season.
So there is Colin Turkington out on his own. He started this last lap a 2.5 seconds clear of anybody else. It is Gordon Shedden, the outgoing champion, who is 2nd. It's Matt Neal, who is 3rd, and Matt Jackson 4th. Moffat 5th, Ingram 6th.
And he takes maximum points, remember, because he gets the extra point for fastest lap and the extra point for leading a lap. So he gets absolute maximum points out of this race.
So it'll be 3.57 for Sutton. It will be 3.52 for Turkington. The gap will be down to 5 points, barring any post-race penalties that might be applied. But for now, let's enjoy Colin Turkington with a corner to go. Double British Touring Car champion, and he's about to come through to take a 4th race win of the season. The checkered flag is at the ready, and over the timing line, Colin Turkington wins the penultimate round of the championship, and that is a hugely important win. Shedden is 2nd, Neal is 3rd, Jackson is 4th, 5th goes to Moffat, Ingram 6th, 7th to Chilton, 8th Jack Goff, 9th is Rob Austin, Mike Epps 10th, Brett Smith 11th, and Ash Sutton takes 12th position. The results of round 29. Race winner Colin Turkington from Gordon Shedden and Matt Neal. 4th, Matt Jackson. 5th, Aidan Moffat and Tom Ingram 6th ahead of Tom Chilton. 7th, Jack Goff 8th from Rob Austin. And Mike Epps into the top 10. 6 points then between Ash Sutton and Colin Turkington. Gordon Shedden 3rd, Tom Ingram 4th, Rob Collard, of course not racing this weekend, 5th ahead of Matt Neal, then Jack Goff, Matt Jackson, Andrew Jordan and Adam Morgan. So there is Mike Epps on pole position in the Volkswagen CC, run by Team Hard. Rob Austin lining up with him at the front of the grid, and it's just taking the race in isolation. It's going to be a fascinating duel between those two. The two BTC Nordin Chevrolets about to slot into position at the back, and then Stephen Jelly to round out the grid. Another Herculean effort by Team Parker Racing to get that car on track after its clutch failure at the end of race 1 rather, and had to miss race 2. In the gathering gloom, in the rain, the grid is formed. The final race in the 2017 Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship is set to get underway. Lights are red, engine notes rise. Who is going to make the best start as we go racing? It's a good getaway by Rob Austin, who tries to level with Mike Epps on the run up towards the first corner at Paddock Hill Bend. Turkington is away nicely, so is Ash Sutton. The rear-wheel drive car's getting away quickly as expected. Turkington's up the inside of Aidan Moffat. Is he going to be able to go through? Not there, he's not, and Sutton will slot in behind him. The race leaders are side by side, almost 3 wide up towards Druids. Epps on the inside, Austin in the middle, Jack Goff on the outside, gets shouldered out a little bit wide, and Colin Turkington tries to gain ground up the inside. He's ahead of Moffat, he's going ahead on the outside of Chilton. Matt Simpson's on the grass in the background. Graham Hill Band lap 1. It's all really heart in mouth here with so little traction.
Turkington's showing a lot of intent, isn't he? He was very aggressive at the front. Looks like Austin's up the inside with Ingram coming through as well on Epps.
So Rob Austin leads the way. Ingram and Epps side by side for second. It's Jack Goff running in 4th place. Then there's Matt Jackson, there's Tom Chilton, and Colin Turkington gets up the inside of the Vauxhall. He's got to be ahead of Sutton, and he's got to try and get as many cars between him and the Subaru as he possibly can. This is Hawthorne's lap 1 of 15. And Rob Austin is the race leader with Epps second, Ingram third as they dive down towards Westfield for the first time.
And Sutton has gone through as well, so he sits on the back of Turkington. This is what he needs to do at the moment.
No heroics, just bank the points. He comes into this with an advantage, but of course there are plenty of people eager to find a way up past the Subaru if they can. Ash to the outside line at Stirling's. Can't get past Turkington. Does he hang on to his own place, though, because he's got them all stacked up behind. Down towards Clearways, up to the end of lap 1 of 15. Rob Austin leading the way. Second is Epps, third is Ingram, 4th is Jackson, 5th is Goff, 6th is Turkington, who gets up the inside. Sutton gets a little bit boxed in behind Jack Goff here as they come up towards the line. BMW goes through on the inside. Is Sutton going to be able to go by? Let's see. Up towards Paddock. Jack Goff stays on the outside line. Turkington goes through and takes now 5th place. 6th is Goff and 7th is Sutton.
There was certainly no indication that the BMW's got any lack of pace against the front-wheel drive cars, despite that 75 kilos. Turkington a little tap into the back. Sutton runs wide. Is that gonna? But he's going to hold the position coming down the hill behind Goff.
It's early days in the race, but this is enough for Sutton to be the champion. But now Turkington's at the inside of Ingram and Jackson's off the road, and there's contact against Turkington. He holds the slide. Here comes Sutton up the inside. He's ahead of Turkington.
There's damage to Turkington's tyre. The right rear is broken. That is Turkington's championship finish. He's out of it. He's out of it.
Punctured tyre, broken suspension, and Ash Sutton just has to bring it home after everything that Colin Turkington tried to do. Somebody else's slide has done it for him, and for WSR they know it's game over, and at BMR they know that Ash Sutton then is the champion. He came into this with an advantage, and now that is it. With Turkington a retirement, Ash Sutton is the champion. There's the moment, bang.
Yeah, it may have been a little bit of contact, actually, between Ingram and Jackson on the way into... just have a look. Does Ingram get into the back of... Yes, yeah. He does. Ingram tapped the back of Jackson, sliding on the brakes. Jackson goes off, comes back on, clips the back of Turkington. Game over.
And right, there is the gap you can see between Austin and Epps. We're up to 17 laps, of course, because of the safety car period. On board with Ingram, looking at the back of Ash Sutton's Subaru, onto the Grand Prix part of the circuit now. Rob Austin leads the way. He's also done the fastest lap of the race in these very, very difficult conditions, and Ingram is hustling on. He wants to be third at season's end. Matt Neal still ahead of Gordon Shedden, but Ingram, to be safe, needs to gain places.
Well, it'd be fabulous for Rob Austin to finish the year out with a win. As I say, his Handy Motorsport team, Simon Belcher, they're moving to the new Alfa Romeo Giulietta next year. So this is the swan song race for that car, the Toyota Avensis. So what a great way to go out.
Absolutely right. So Rob Austin, who, of course, used to be player-manager, drive as well as run his own team, went to Simon Belcher's squad at the start of last season, and it has been a very good, successful relationship, and if they could round out the Toyota's era with a win, they'd be delighted. So here they come through Clark Curve. Rob Austin is getting away, heads now up towards the timing line, and as they break the beam, the gap last time 9/10 of a second, this lap around is 1.8. Rob Austin is getting away up the road. In third place he's Goff, 4th is Sutton, still ahead of Ingram, and Shedden is up to 6th now. Gordon Shedden 6th would give him 309 points, and with Tom Ingram in 5th place he would also have 309.
Yeah, but he's just gone off on Paddock and rejoined, with Neil on the inside wondering where to let him round and holding up Jackson just to let him have the pace. Look, he's let him have the place back. Is Jackson going to get through as well, or is Neil going to shut the door?
Just about defends, doesn't he? Consolidates Shedden's position for him, so Gordon is back up. Same line I used a moment ago, same number of points. Here comes Jackson up the inside of Matt Neal. Matt Jackson, who was up the order early on, fighting back, takes the place away. Jackson could be dangerous to Shedden here if he's got the pace to get past him.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Shedden ran off wide. Look at it coming into view. Locked up a little bit, ran off wide, couldn't quite hold it, just kissed the gravel. But Matt Neal and Jackson, no option but to go through.
Aidan Moffat through, 3 abreast behind him. Dave Newsham goes ahead of Jake Hill. Matt Simpson on the outside, goes wide, goes off. He's in the gravel. Oh no, Newsham is sideways as well. He's back onto the road, but Matt Simpson is very, very, very wide, heading for the tyres. Is he going to be able to rejoin? Yes, digs his way out, but all the hard work is undone because he tumbles down the order.
Yeah, what a shame. What a shame. They were making good progress.
Yeah.
I think Newsham is on slicks as well, judging by his pace.
Yeah, and Smiley as well, given how they've come up the order,
Yeah.
I was wondering that a lap ago. So there you've got Epps versus Ingram. They are still fighting for 4th place. Behind them, it is Gordon Shedden, then Matt Jackson, then Matt Neal. And this is Ingram's view. And he still hasn't found a way past Mike Epps, having a very impressive drive here in 4th place. So Ingram's got 4 wins to his name this year. Shedden has got 3. If it is a tie on points, then I think Ingram wins it on the tie break on the number of wins, on that count back. So he needs to stay ahead of Shedden, but ideally he wants to gain another place over Mike Epps, and he would like Matt Jackson to get past Gordon Shedden as well. There you see Adam Morgan still charging on. He's in 9th place. 10th is Jake Hill. 11th is Newsham. In 12th place now is Rory Butcher. Aidan Moffat is 13th. Martin Depper is 14th. Chris Smiley is 15th. Every lap the order is shuffling here in the pack, isn't it? The only constant is Rob Austin, who's almost into next season. So far ahead, is he?
Oh.
Ingram to the inside, he's done it at last. This is for 4th in the race, and in a sense for 3rd in the championship, because it's another place and more points gained for Ingram, and he's finally done it on the inside line. He goes through.
Yeah, good move, but of course, can Shedden follow him through?
Let's see. Epps is trying to attack, isn't he? First of all, he wants to retaliate on the run up the hill. Shedden closes right up onto the tail. Matt Jackson is there as well. Anything could kick off out of this now. And there wide has gone Chris Smiley. No, Dave Newsham again, in fact, at Paddock Hill Bend. So Dave Newsham has had another rather wide run through the first corner. But Ingram up to 4th now. And Gordon Shedden runs 6th as they sprint along Cooper Straight. This, by 2 points, would put Tom Ingram 3rd in the championship.
Good clean move, got the overlap nice and early coming out of clearways, and Epps gave him room.
So Ingram goes through. And so Aidan Moffat fights back, having had that win earlier on in the day, looking for a way through on the inside. He, in turn, has got Tom Chilton stuck up behind him, looking for a way by, and then it's Ollie Jackson and the recovering Dave Newsham. But the race leader has gone through onto the last lap of the race now. Rob Austin, the gap's coming down. It's 3.3 seconds, as Rob is perhaps erring on the side of caution here. He just wants to get to the end, and Sutton's all sideways up the curb coming out of Paddock. But of course he saves it, because he's this year's champion.
What a great power slide that was, getting up on the curbs. I said he was using the curbs a lot last time. Well, they've now got wet enough that they're very slippery, so best stay off them. But great car control, as you'd expect, and showing us again once more, nice on board. Yeah, perhaps he's just styling it out for us on this final lap, but how happy must he be? We've seen tremendous emotion from the teams, from the drivers, from Colin Turkington. I can't emphasise just how much this means. Drivers eat, sleep and breathe this existence, and it's the last thing they think about when they put their head on the pillow, and the first thing they think about when they wake up. And tonight will be the first moment of relief for several months.
And number 116 will become number 1 for next year. Ash Sutton will go into 2018 as the champion. He loses touch a little bit there with Jack Goff, a small error made at Westfield, but he's on target for 3rd in the race. But most important of all, he's going to be the champion. There is Rob Austin. The gap is coming down, but he's got enough in hand ready for a 3rd career touring car win, and of course the very first outright victory for Simon Belcher's underdog team. Handy Motorsport will sign off its Toyota period in the championship with a win. The Alfa Romeo is just around the corner, but for Rob Austin, around this corner is a checkered flag, and the race win in round 30 of the championship goes to Rob Austin. 2nd across the line will be Jack Goff, and 3rd is the 2017 British Touring Car champion, Ash Sutton. Round 30 won by Rob Austin. Jack Goff taking second. Our new champion Ash Sutton third. Tom Ingram fourth ahead of Mike Epps and Gordon Shedden. Matt Jackson seventh. Eighth Matt Neal. Ninth Adam Morgan. And Jake Hill in 10th. Ash Sutton, in the end, 21 points clear of Colin Turkington. Tom Ingram, third, ahead of Gordon Shedden. Rob Collard, fifth, despite not racing this weekend. Sixth, Jack Goff, moving up in this last race, ahead of Matt Neal and Matt Jackson. Andrew Jordan, ninth, and Adam Morgan, 10th. And Ash Sutton is the man of the season. What a season it has been for the British Racing Drivers Club superstar. Ashley Sutton, 6 race wins, 4 second places, 5 thirds. It's 15 podiums to save you having to do the sums. And now his second touring car season, and he is British touring car champion.
Coming up after the break, we head over to Poland and the Tehran Arena for the opening round of the FIM Super Enduro World Championship.